It is Friday, March 28th, and this is episode number 10 of Super GameTalk Turbo HD Remix. I'm your host, Capanius, and as always, I am joined by the always benevolent, never judging Vertigo Tea Party.
Everyone else but me is terrible.
Scratch what I just said. He's an asshole. But we're both here back after yet another long hiatus.
Spring break!
We're really just making you miss us. Like, this is just absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's a strategy for building viewership, or I guess listeners.
Listenership?
Yes, listenership. That's the term. And so we're finally back after like 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know. It's not like it's just there weren't any games in March.
No, this has been a really slow month.
Yeah, so we just realized there's no real purpose in talking about games. So we're back, and we've got some interesting news items to discuss this week. And we've got, of course, our first segment of what we've been playing. So, Vertigo Tea Party, or Johnny, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Wildstar. I got into the beta weekend. I won the key off PC Gaming, I think. So I played that a lot. I got an engineer and a medic up to around, 17. I think the medic I got to around 14 or so. But it's been fun. At first, it was really slow. Like, I really was like, this feels pretty disappointing. There's really nothing interesting here. But then as I started with the engineer, and once I kind of got the hang of the combat and how it works, it felt pretty good. But I feel like the engineer was kind of weak compared to the medic. I think that's also why I enjoyed playing the medic more, because the medic was pretty damn powerful for what you would just assume to be a healer class. But it was fun. The art style kind of grew on me. When they first released videos and pictures, I really did not like that cartoon style, the whole Pixar look with the people's faces, like making all kinds of contorted faces every time they're happy or sad, or their faces just going ballistic. But it's kind of grown on me. The character model, the player models in particular, I like. You can make some really cool looking characters. Still not crazy about the all overworld look, but it's better. Like, I'd prefer something that looks like Terra or Final Fantasy 14. But I guess this will do looks wise. And gameplay, it's interesting. It's another MMO where you can target, but you don't like target and then cast firebolts and whatever. You cast and you usually will get like lines in front of you or whatever to indicate what your shot is going to do. So whatever hit is inside that shot gets hit. So if it's like a cone or rods or whatever, you want to line enemies up to be in it. So it's very action packed. There's a lot of movement going on, and you can dodge things like that. And enemies all have, when they are doing some kind of spell, it'll show a red area of effects. To get out of the fire, basically, right, in WoW terms. So, but it trains you that from like step one. Like, from the very first time you fight enemies, you see that and you learn to get out of the way. So I think they're trying to get people used to the idea of don't stand in the fire and just keep DPSing. Right. Or how much that'll work, I have no idea.
So what's I guess I hadn't been current on this game, but who's making it and when's it supposed to come out? Because it's in beta, right?
It's by Carbine.
Okay.
And it's going to be published or hosted or whatever by NCSoft, I guess. I forget what other game Carbine did. Was it City of Cute? No,
I'm just thinking about Turbine.
The Carbine. I forget what they've done, but
I don't know.
I'm not good with remembering what company's done what. But my understanding is this team, at least, has a lot of MMO experience from all kinds of various MMOs. So that looks good. The thing that I was most interested in, and actually came to be disappointed by, was they touted these things called paths. You had like the adventurer path, the explorer, the settler, and the scientist. And they made it sound like if you pick a settler class, you get to go around and build things and craft and all this. And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. I love crafting. I wanted an MMO where I could just craft, do nothing but craft.
Of craft. That would be your favorite MMO.
Yes. Star Wars Galaxies had that. And Star Wars Galaxies had a lot of problems. But they had one of, if not the best crafting systems I've ever played. You could start.
I heard that was like the only good thing about it.
Pretty much. Well, there was other things like you could build your own player city. Like players could build a city, like not in a virtual area, like on the realm. So, like in WoW terms, think of like the Barrens, but think of the Barrens being like 3 to 4 times as big as it is, and like a guild or whoever being able to just build a city somewhere in the middle of the Barrens.
That's pretty cool.
And what's cool is as you build that city up, you can build amenities. So you could say have a taxi or a griffin spot in that case, so that people could fly there, pay a fee and fly out to your area if there was a questing area that they wanted to get to or whatever. So it was really neat that you could just build a city, and it was actually in the game world. And from level 1, you could make a crafter. Like I was a droid engineer from level 1, and I didn't go and kill enemies until 10 or 20 just so I could craft. I started like, okay, well, here's your gathering thing to get ore. Here's some blueprints to get you started. Go have fun.
Yeah.
So I love that, and I want to see that again in an MMO. But Wildstar unfortunately isn't like that. The paths are like a side thing. Mm-hmm. They're still kind of neat, but it's definitely not something you're going to spend a lot of time doing, and you can completely ignore it if you want. But like Settler, for example, like if you go to a questing area, there'll be like a node, and there's these things you find on the ground you pick up. They're like supplies, and you feed supplies into it, and you can say, okay, I want to put an XP terminal here and an HP buff terminal here and a vendor. And if you put those in, they pop up, and they'll stay for X amount of time, and people can use those to buff themselves up. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you're helping yourself and helping other players, and medics and the other sides have like settlers and all, or scientists and all. They'll have their own little things they can do. So that's interesting, but it's a side thing.
Yeah.
And they do have crafting in the game, and it sounds kind of cool in that it's kind of a risk reward system where based on the components, like say I could put 10 strength on an item, but if I overpower it, maybe I can put 15 strength, but there's like a 20% chance that the combine fails. So there's kind of a little risk reward to try to push it a little further than it's supposed to go. So that's cool. But I still would have loved to see an MMO that's not just, okay, go and kill the level and like kind of same old as far as that goes.
So what possesses somebody to make an MMO? Like in the year 2014, I feel like there's so many MMOs. Like, does this have a specific angle that people are like, this new thing, I want to try this out? Like, are people excited about this? Because I feel like at this point, a lot of people are just done with MMOs.
There's a decent amount of hype behind it, but I don't like playing it. I don't feel like there was something that really set it apart.
Yeah,
the combat is definitely more active than say. Well, it's been a while since I've played WoW, but it's a bit more active. I haven't done any grouping, so I have no idea what the grouping is like. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's some really cool dynamics going on. And some people in the beta who were in the closed beta, because the weekend beta, the cap was like 17. Or no, it was 17, I think. I got to 14, actually, I think it was. And people were saying that, who were in the closed beta, said that they hated that the cap was so low, because they said once you get to 20, it says it really seems like it starts to differentiate itself. How it does that, I don't know. But so far, it's
just
pretty standard. Yeah. Well, these are like beta testers, right. So a little bit more than like the devs going, oh, no, trust us. No. But
sure, it was the beta testers.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, it was, it definitely wasn't like, wow, this is so much different than other MMOs.
Is this going to be like a paid MMO? Like you buy the box and you buy the monthly?
Yeah.
Man, I just feel like it's such a, like, they all end up going free to play by that year, like, usually. I feel like it's such a big detriment to perception. Because I feel like an MMO, it relies heavily on how people perceive its success. Because if it's kind of like that whole network thing. Like, if multiple people are getting off of it, it devalues the game itself. It's like, well, more people are quitting, so I don't know.
Well, I honestly think that...
Seems like it sets it up for failure.
I don't know about that. I think some of these MMOs like ESO and Wildstar, I think they're smart enough now to go, okay, well, we're going to go free to play at some point. Probably within a year, but we want to get that initial box fee and those initial 15-month subscribers.
So you think before it had happened so often that it's no longer perceived as that big of a deal when they inevitably go free to play.
Well, because now people,
why not capitalize on that?
Like back in let's see, what was I'm trying to think of the first MMOs that went free to play. Was it like Lord of the Rings Online or?
Wasn't Age of Conan before that?
It might have been. I think it might have been. If I don't know if it went free to play first.
I remember.
But anyway, back in that era, regardless of whichever one was first, it was definitely considered like, oh, the game's failing. You went free to play, game's crap, game's failing. But now you see the opposite. People are like, it's not free to play. I don't want to play that. So it's like the complete opposite now.
Well, I think it's because people don't want to spend $60 now and $15 a month.
I think it was just cheap.
That's not cheap if you like. That's a lot of money.
But the flip side, and this is like the same arguments we heard back in EverQuest 1 and Final Fantasy 11 days. Like, oh my god, $15 a month for the game. It's like, okay, this is a little different than a single player game. There's still servers and whatnot. But I think by now, like, the costs of infrastructure maintenance should be lower than I'm sure it's lower. I'm sure it's lower.
Why is that price? Why is it $15? Like,
it's not zero, because that's probably why.
Well, right, but I guess why is there no in between free to play and 60
so you think the prices
15?
Should be like lower, like maybe $5 a month now instead of 15?
Yeah, totally. I'd be fine with that. Like, if that was like, because I mean, like, MMOs are now like twice as expensive as video services like Netflix or Hulu. Like, why is 15 the only amount? Like, why not a $5 to $8?
Well, some actually do that, I think.
Yeah.
I said do, first of all. Secondly,
like, here's the thing. If Elder Scrolls Online was $40 or even $50 and $8 a month, I'd probably, I'm that much on the fence where I'd be like, all right,
you're going to get it. What are you talking about?
I'm not going to get it, man. 60,
this is the guy who did the Elder Scroll books on.
So you should see how much I hate that, like, spending that much money on something that I know will be a monthly service too. Like,
I guess I just don't care.
Package and a service.
I have played so long. I have just done the MMO thing so long. It's a non-issue. Like because free to play still has a nasty tinge to me. It's not like, and so many companies doing it wrong.
I guess just because you've been fleeced that many times isn't justification for them to do it. Like,
I definitely don't think it's fleeced.
I know.
But
it's still like, it's just the $60 PC game still rubs me the wrong way. Like, I'm used to the $50
ones. I do think charge like 60 and the 15 is. I just feel like
if you're having a
does
game
it make you
that's
feel
a
better?
monthly service, it should at least subsidize the initial package cost.
Does it make you feel better if it's a $45 game but you're paying $15 for the first month?
No.
Does that make you feel any better?
No,
it's a $45 PC game. There you go. There's your main issue solved.
All right,
go pre-order Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, wait, I don't get a free month at the time?
Make sure to get the extra edition so you get the Imperial.
At $80.
If any
listeners
right
wants
there
to donate, get me into Elder Scrolls Online, that's fine. But I at this point, I don't think I'm getting. There's too many games to play right now. Like, if there was nothing going on, I probably would get Elder Scrolls Online. But it's gonna go. I'm predicting it'll be free to play by fall.
I think they build it in. I think they have.
Yeah, they've already.
They know exactly how they're going to.
They already have the economy, and it's probably engineered and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems weird to me that they're charging that much, knowing that it'll go free to play. Like, it's just. And then it's more of a term of they're taking advantage of their early adopters more so than, well, we're not selling this price model isn't working for us, so let's change the price model. They know that this price model will be profitable for 3 to 4 months, and then they'll switch to another price model. Like,
now, if they go $15 a month, and this goes for any MMO, $15 a month, and they have microtransactions, like, that is, I hate that. Like, the WoW double dipping.
Yeah.
Like, I really hate that. Oh, but it's just vanity items.
What kind of? Oh, okay, yeah, vanity items.
Or level your character to 90, like that kind of shit. Like, if it's a but to kind of go against what I just said, if there's a way to get that stuff in game, it's fine, as long as it's realistic. Like, if it took you like a year to earn it, then no. But if there's a way to earn it in game, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
If I think, in my opinion, in any free-to-play model, any item should be attainable in the game. The item you have should be attainable in the game, period. Whether it's luck or a lot of grinding or just a lot of time spent, whatever, that's fine.
I don't know. If it's just a vanity item, I don't have a hard time, like, if it's only available to buy.
It's one of those things, if
everything else is completely free.
It's not, if it's a free-to-play game, period, I guess.
So yeah, that's where the distinction is. It's like, well, it's kind of like the whole Forza thing over again. Like, you can either, I feel okay with you either employing microtransactions or like box copy where I'm buying the game. But it's like when you start stacking on monetization models on top of each other, it's like, come on. Like, just like, you don't have to get my money in all these different ways. Like, it's kind of insulting.
Well, and just to be clear, here's basically how I section the MMO models. Like, the $15 a month things, fine, whatever. And that's assuming no microtransactions. That's its own thing. Free to play with microtransactions, but it has items you cannot get in game no matter what you do unless you pay money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. Monthly pay MMO that has things you cannot get without microtransactions, that I'm not okay with. I think if you're paying $15 a month, you should have access to everything. Not saying that you just click a button, you get it.
Yeah.
But like maybe it's a rare mount that drops off of a raid boss, or a rare skin, or whatever, like the Phoenix boss, the Phoenix mount out of one of the WoW raid zones. Things like that, I'm okay with if I can get it in a game. But if you're saying, well, you got to pay the $15 a month, and if you want this cool looking pet or this cool looking gear, you got to pay us on top of that. Like, yeah. I feel like that's really skeevy.
Yeah, that is a little too far.
But that's obviously it's working for Blizzard, because like they're
doing okay.
When I logged in a while back, I saw people running around in the mounts that you have to pay for, and I was like, you really paid money for that?
Some of those mounts like are like limited time charity things where 100% of the proceeds go to charities. So I don't have a problem with that. Like,
yeah, that's fine.
I think that's pretty cool, because like I saw some people get, like, whenever there was the Typhoon Relief Fund, or, you know, different things that happened, they would just come up with this mount and sell it, and you'd spend $10 on this virtual item, and 100% of the money went to charity. So I feel like that's one exception. That's kind of cool. But
they kind of skirt the line when they're like 50% goes to charity and 50% goes to someone else.
Yeah,
start with the B.
Because I hate that stuff, because it's a digital good. Like, I mean, I guess there are costs associated with it, producing it. Like, an artist had to make that stuff, but they're minimal. Like, and yeah. So I agree with you, but it just seems like such a.
It's weird. I'll say that it's a little weird, but it's one of those things. It's like it flies over my head, because I just like, oh, okay, $15 a month, whatever. Because I guess I also, maybe it helps that I've become a dirty casual with MMOs. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll tend to buy them, play them for 1 to 2 months.
I wouldn't say casual is the right word, though, because you play them for 1 or 2 months, but like 100 hours a week. Like, you play them non-casually for a short amount of time.
You can be a casual and put like tons of hours in.
I feel like that's the wrong word then, because there's nothing casual about playing 12-hour sessions.
I think when most people talk about casuals in MMOs, and we should totally have a topic about this, discussion topic of this, but I think when most people talk about casuals, they mean like their attitude towards like leveling and raiding and whatnot. Like, a casual could have.
You mean they don't role play in their dialogue?
Well, everybody does that. Only weirdos don't role play.
Yeah, I'm serious.
But like they have like no max level character, but 50 alts. Like, you know the type of people I'm talking about.
You're talking about me.
Right. Like, yeah, exactly. But they have like a ton of hours any given month. But they either don't raid, or they only raid like the very low instances. They're just very like, oh yeah, let's just do whatever. They don't really. Yeah.
But it still seems funny.
They don't learn and I think the negative side is they don't learn their class. They're like,
they don't master their class.
I put my talent points wherever I want.
What are talent points?
Yeah, I'm a hunter wearing all cloth because I think I look better in cloth. Like, that kind of stuff. Like,
I guess as long as they're not interfering with your gameplay experience, then why do people get upset about that?
I think because it's when they join raids or raiding guilds, and I've been writing a lot about casuals lately.
I think there needs to be
Raid finder?
No, like a raid boot camp. And so if you want to do raids, you're required to go to boot camp. And they're like, I don't know if they're paid by Blizzard or the people that go there, but they're people that they incentivize. You get these, if you want to be a boot camp instructor, you get all these you get these mounts or whatever. But they incentivize it so that other players are instructing new players or casuals how to do raids and how to do, like, this is what's going on. And it's like, then you eliminate that, like, hey, this is my first raid ever, and people are like, ugh, like, roll their eye, like, great, like, because no one wants to be that person. I hate being that person.
Yeah,
like,
be a tank and be that person.
That's why I can never play Dota, because as soon as, like, or 2v2 on StarCraft, as soon as you're, like, matched with a teammate that despises you, it's a bad feeling.
Yeah.
Like, oh, great, we're going to lose this because of you, and it's going to affect my ranking.
It's some people playing random 2v2s in StarCraft. They should know what they're getting. I mean, come on.
That's the thing. I've played random 2v2s, and people, it's like, enough of that. Like,
yeah. But in MOBAs, one of the worst communities outside of Xbox Live in the world.
Yeah.
Easily, MOBAs are one of the worst. But I think the raid camp would not be a terrible idea. I think that's why Wildstar is having, like, the beginning right from the start. Oh, those red things, I need to avoid those. And it starts off, like, real slow. Like, you see the red dot, and, like, 3 seconds later, it does it. But, like, as you level, it starts to get a little faster and faster. And the red lines get, like, more and more weird and complex. Like, there's some points where it's, like, almost like a maze between the red that you have to, like, walk or like dodge through. So they're trying to get people, and this is only like level 14, 15. So I think they're trying to get people, like, in that mindset. So by the time they get to rating level, this is just what they've been doing anyway to keep from dying and, taking a lot of health or taking a lot of damage. So I think that's a better way to do it. I think it's to get people used to that kind of mechanic so that when they get to the raid, they know what to do. But the whole casual thing, like I say, anyway, I talked about the casual thing before. When I was
filthy
streaming,
casuals.
Yeah, filthy casuals. I guess when I was in a raiding guild, like, I really hated
that should
the casual.
Be the name of our podcast.
The raiding guild?
No, filthy casuals.
I'm sure that's been used already.
Yeah, probably.
But we had the people who, and these are the people and these are not just casuals. These are just people who are just douchebags.
Mm-hmm.
Who, like, when we were trying to learn an encounter, which would lead to, lots of repair bills, a lot of time wasted, a lot of frustration, dying and trying to learn things and blah, blah, blah. The people, like, certain people would never show up to those. But the minute you, like, beat them, like, twice and you've learned it and people can kill it, they're like, oh, look, I suddenly have this free time to show up to these raids. Oh, what loot does he drop for my class? And then as soon as you got to the next boss, oh, man, look at the time. Oh, I'll see you guys after you got him on farm status. It's like, those people I despised. Like, but it always some excuse. Like, well, I don't want to spend all my time, like, busting my head against this boss. It's like, what do you think we've been doing? Like, you think we want to spend our time, like, doing this? Like, that's not.
Well, that is fun. Kind of a funny thing when you think about it. It is a game, after all. So
it is a game, but
it's a social experience that relies on other people, like, doing things. But it's like, if you're having to play a portion of it that's unfun to get to a portion that's fun, that seems like a problem with the game.
Right, but it's a team effort and it's a competitive environment.
Yeah, okay.
Competitive in a PvE type sense. Like, you couldn't just walk on the Major League ball field and go, well, it's just a game. I should be able to play anytime I want. It's like, it's competitive.
That's a professional, like, those are professionals that have, like, that have to have a level of quality so that people will pay to see them. Like, that's a different thing. If we're just talking about, like,
well, what about like a chess match, like a high ranked chess match, no money involved? Like, should anybody be able to just, like, play the master at any time? Or it's not a great analogy. But I guess the point is, like, like, it's still a game. Like, you can still use that term, but, like,
I guess
different
I'm not
that,
justifying his actions, but I can see how somebody would be like, I don't want to play the boring part of the game. I want to play the game.
right, but at the same time, they have to realize that you're part of a team and you're just trying to reap the rewards from by virtue of just being on that team.
Well, I think if you want to play that game, that you have to understand that in order to fairly get those rewards, you have to put in the time to do that. And
right.
If they don't like doing that, they need to play a different game. Like,
or be in a different, like a casual guild, like
filthy casual guild, yeah.
Right? Exactly, and just like farm or older content. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, there is, but I say that I'm pretty casual. I haven't raided in I don't know how long, but yeah, it's just I think it's a game has always been an incredibly weak defense. It's like, well, yes, it is, but at the same time, the game has been designed. It's interesting
because people that do raids talk about it like it's work. Like they're just like, you didn't show up to work. Like you're not here at work. Why aren't you at work? You were supposed to be here. And I think that's why it takes a very unique type of person to be like, I'm gonna do raids because.
Well, here's a better analogy. Think of like a high school or like even a college football team where you're not really being paid to be there.
Right.
And you don't show up to practice ever, but you want to show up to the games. Well, it's just a game. Like, why can't I just show up and bat and pitch? And who cares if we win or lose? It's just a game.
Like, it's about competition and it's about working with your team.
Right.
I get it.
And getting rewards
it's just
from
funny
that.
When that line between this is a fun thing I do.
Yeah, and this
like,
is a boring thing I
do.
This is
freaking work. Like, you better get here. You better be here.
I think part of the fun comes from the results of your work.
Yeah, the greater the challenge, the sweeter the reward.
Right. So when you do achieve it, like it feels sweeter because you had to work hard for it. Like I still remember our first Ragnaros kill from like Molten Core. Like people were like going berserk and vent and like because it felt so good because we've been fighting that boss for a while and he'd been kicking our ass and he was the head boss of Molten Core and like so there was like a huge like it felt really great. Like if we'd have walked in there and beat him the second try, like it'd have been like, oh, I guess that's cool. But because he was difficult and because we had to learn all the phases and work together to take him down, it was just a lot more fun. Overall, it was a much more memorable experience because of all the hardships that we dealt with, and they weren't really artificial. Because I mean, you can make artificial ones all you want, like he randomly death touches everyone in the raid. Oh, you can't, and you can't try again until another week later and hope you don't get a random death touch. Like you could do stuff like that, but it feels cheesy. It felt like a legitimately difficult encounter that required most people to be on the ball. Perform well, and then overcome it. So I think that's a big draw for folks in raids. That's what I like. Obviously, the loot is a big pull for some people. It's like some people just want the loot. I like the challenge of the bosses and trying to coordinate everyone to do what they're supposed to do, and it's definitely frustrating. As someone who like was an officer and like class leader in a few raid guilds. It definitely could be very, very, very frustrating. But I mean, anything worth serious effort is probably going to be at least a little frustrating or a little stressful.
Yeah.
To get that reward.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting personality difference in the type of people that are willing to pour so much time and effort into getting that payoff, and some people just like want to click on Candy Crush or whatever. It's like games are a weird thing when you think about it that way. That just like not the games. I guess people are an interesting thing in that the whole idea of a game has completely different appeals of challenge and reward to different people.
Yeah, and I think different people. And some people who just want to log in and do casual raids or not be expected to have a schedule or whatever. Yeah. Those same people might have those other areas in their life that they find that like maybe they're really into again like they have a baseball league that they play with that they're really into and that they put a lot of time in or something other competitive. It doesn't have to be competitive, Or maybe they're trying to be, learn to be good with a guitar. Obviously you'll pick it up and play it and have fun immediately.
Yeah.
And you'll probably get frustrated that you're not progressing at the rate you want to progress. Whatever it is, a guitar, learning to paint, whatever. But those frustrations are just part of it. Because easily you could just say, well, why don't you put the guitar down, go watch TV, something that's not stressful. It's like, well, because I want the end. I'm looking at the end. I'm not looking at what's happening right now.
Speaking of frustration, I spent about 3 hours on Saturday playing Street Fighter 4 online. Ranked matches.
Oh, God.
So
shouldn't it be ranking you against people that were at your skill level?
It tries to, but there's not many people out there.
Oh, are you on PC?
No, I've been playing on 360. There's more people playing on the 360.
That's why I was kind of surprised. I figured there'd be more people
on the PC 360.
No, on 360.
Oh, okay.
That's why I thought when you said you weren't getting there weren't many people. I assumed you meant you were playing on.
Well,
the PC.
I mean, I'm not getting many people that are the same rank as me. No casuals are playing that game right now.
Damn. So you're the dirty casual.
I am the dirty casual. So yeah, that's been really hard, but it's also practically impossible to get better at a fighting game without being able to talk to somebody about it, because it's like I'll get beat and it's like, crap, I don't even understand why I got beat.
Have you tried stuff like the Reddit fighting game or Reddit?
I haven't looked at Reddit. I've been on the Shoryuken forums, which is full of so many assholes. It's just grade A, gold medal. They've gone to asshole academy. They went to college.
I graduated with honors, son of a bitch.
PhD in assholery. It's amazing. It's just you ask a simple question or you do something and it's even the mods are assholes there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah,
try the Reddit maybe. Reddit, I mean, it depends on who the moderators are, but sometimes they're way more cool with newbie questions and
it's hard because pretty much in forums or Reddit, almost any question that's been asked that you could ask has been asked.
Well, I just mean trying to find people to match with.
Yeah.
You could consistently, hey, today let's play for an hour.
See, I think that's another thing that games could use is kind of a sensei mode. I want to be matched up with a sensei.
Yeah.
And it's just have a headset chat and you'll spar with them. And the idea is that if you go into sensei mode as a sensei, you're going to, talk to the person and help them out. And if you don't, you'll get a bad sensei rating or whatever.
Yeah, maybe if you get enough sensei points, you get cool flair or unlock costumes or shit. That would be cool.
I miss my calling as a game designer.
Capcom. Go for it. Do it. You can steal his idea.
Oh, you could put it in Super Duper Street Fighter 4.
Super Duper Ultra Street Fighter 4. The next.
The Super Duper Tubular Street Fighter 4 Turbo.
Well, I had that other friend Parlock who I told you. He's in the UK, but he says he's played people in the US and it's not been.
Yeah, I actually did play some people in the UK over the weekend.
So you might try with him because I think he'd be very patient and be like, okay, you need to do this or this is why you lost. Or...
They do have training mode, online training mode, so you can, if you can make your own sensei mode. I need,
but it's still does it put you in AI or?
No, I mean you can do training mode with another person online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty sure. I had to put a headset into my fight stick though. Because I modded it, it doesn't have a headset connection.
Oh, for God's sake. These damn modding hackers.
Yeah.
What? You hacked it so you could cheat online.
No, I hacked it so I could use it on the 360 and the PS3.
Oh.
Because, I got one of those. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, you need to remind me off camera or off mic, and I'll give you his info. Because I think I already asked him about it, and I think he said he was cool with it.
Cool.
Just obviously time schedules might be hard to line up, but
so I like this. We're interleaving what we played this week.
Yes.
So I played Street Fighter. You played what was it called again?
Wildstar.
Wildstar
Online. Have you seen even previews or movies of it?
I didn't know anything.
It's very Pixar-y.
Really?
They obviously like Pixar. I'm not saying Pixar invented that whole style,
right?
But when I watched it, I immediately thought, "Oh, this is like a Pixar movie, the MMO." But like I say, it's growing on me. It has really good music, oddly enough. That's something I noticed a few times. I was like,
cool.
Well, I really like this music. I would like to go download this soundtrack. It happened several times. But yeah, so that's Wildstar. I also played through the South Park Stick of Truth.
I want to play that. I heard that's funny.
It was really good. I've heard, well, one person in particular was like, "Oh, the RPGs or the mechanics were really, really shallow," and I was like, "They are kind of shallow."
I kind of expect that though.
Yeah, they weren't like super deep, but there was definitely a little bit of depth with how you wanted to build, like synergize your skills with the weapon types, because a lot of weapon types would have like, okay, this one causes bleed effects, this one's causes gross out effects, things like that. So you could,
if you went back and played any of these old school RPGs though, like compared to what we have today, all of them seem mechanically shallow. Like,
yeah.
And I think it was just trying to make a retro RPG kind of a game. So it's like, I think it's just what they were going for.
Yeah, I think they wanted you to be able to pick it up and just play through it without having to dig through a lot of stuff.
And in fact, the more I think about it, it seems silly to me. It's somebody's like, the South Park RPG wasn't deep enough. Like, it's like, what did you expect?
Yeah. I mean, it was enjoyable. Like, it wasn't just like, hit A to attack. Hit A to attack. There was, and I played it on a harder difficulty, and it was still pretty easy. For the most part, the final battle was crazy, but yeah, it was pretty easy even on shallow. But I also kind of like planned everything out. I was like, okay, this weapon kind of synergizes with my abilities, so I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to backstab and whatever. I played a rogue. I did not play the Jew class. I was very pulled to it, but I decided not to.
I think most people played the Jew class just out of novelty.
Yeah, I didn't even know what, like, I think this would be kind of like a druid, I think.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. But yeah, the humor was great. Or is really that South Park humor. If you're easily offended, you definitely should not play it. But like, they kept cranking it up the further you got. You're like, I'm doing exactly what now?
I kind of want to get it and play it, like, because me and my wife both love South Park. So I don't know, is it, are the story beats fast enough that I could play it in front of somebody? Like, so you could watch me play it? Or is it going to be kind of boring?
I think if you mostly stuck to the main mission, and maybe if you just side missions as you found them, and didn't do like a lot of item hunting and whatnot, it probably would be. It does really look like an episode of the show. Yeah, like when you're watching them like walk around or talk, like it looks just like the show. In fact, I think I pulled up a Let's Play video to show somebody here. I was trying to find one specific thing, and someone was like, "Oh, is that an episode of South Park?" And I was like, "No, that's actually the game."
That's awesome.
And I'd read an interview with, I think it was Matt Stone, and he said that look was actually really hard to pull off in the game. He said that it took way more time than they thought it was going to, because I guess they figured, we've been doing this for years, we know exactly how it looks. But apparently it was really tough to pull off in a game, which was interesting. But I enjoyed it. It's definitely worth a playthrough. I've actually considered, like, and it does the thing which I love, where when you're finished, you like can just keep playing.
Oh, cool.
And so there's like hidden things like Chipokemon.
That's awesome.
And I had to say it like that because every time you get one, it goes Chipokemon.
That's
so
awesome.
Like, I had like 3 of them that I didn't find. There's like 50 of them in total.
Wow.
There was little hidden, like, well, not really hidden quests, but like little side quests you can or just can't do if you don't want to. It was really good. I very much enjoyed it.
I'm gonna get it as soon as it goes on sale.
You definitely should get it. Yeah, I would play it with her so she can. And like I say, maybe if she starts getting bored, if you do side quests, just go back and do the main quest. Because I think if you like just again mainly follow the main quest, it's probably interesting enough to keep her interested. Even the fights when you're fighting like homeless people and stuff.
Of course,
it's always hilarious to fight just the random shit that you end up fighting. But I also played Luftrausers. I think I played that. It's
your new favorite game.
Yeah. You know, like, I was expecting a lot. When I first saw screenshots, I was like, God damn it, not again. It's one of those very simplistic looking pixel games or pixelated games, and I was like, all right, whatever. It's by Vlambeer. I forget. I think they did ridiculous fishing.
Yep.
Which I always read as ridiculous fisting, which is totally different.
No, that comes out later this year.
Yeah, that's the sequel.
Yeah. Which, by the way, ridiculous fishing is very fun.
I've heard that. I've heard it was really good. I wanted to try it, but like I heard a lot of good things about this, and I got a preview copy of it, and I played it for an hour and felt like I was pushing it to force myself to play it that long.
Yeah.
Like, it's an arcade style plane shooter. It's like where it's, you know, you kind of see it from, you see the ship you take off from and you fly around and you shoot.
Kind of like Altitude.
I didn't play Altitude.
That was like an online like dogfighting game where you're flying around, kind of like just kind of like from the side view.
Yeah, it was side view. I don't remember. It's not online though. It's just single player.
Okay.
And you fight like increasing numbers and difficulties of enemies, like bigger ships, and you have to fight submarines and big battleships that you have to take down.
So just score based?
It's basically a score attack type game.
Yeah.
And you get Steam achievement or Steam leaderboards and all that's cool. And you unlock different setups. So you can change the guns you're using, the shielding, like the body of the plane, and like the thrusters, and they all have their different positives and negatives. So you can customize the ship, get it how you like it, and that's cool and all. But like the gameplay itself was incredibly simplistic and just not enjoyable to me, like at all. Like it wasn't. Yeah. I wouldn't consider it a bad game. I would just consider it very bland.
It didn't do anything for you.
Yeah, like I honestly have no clue. Like Binding of Isaac, I don't like, but I can see why people like it because it's got a lot of variety. Every time you play, it's going to be different due to the randomness. There's a little bit of stress because when you die, and you have to start all over. So I can get why people like it, even though I don't. Luftrausers is one of those games that I'm honestly shocked that people are going crazy about.
I think it's one of those things. I think Luftrausers is a good example of when indie devs become friends with journalists.
Yeah,
because I see all these people talk to each other every day, and so it's like when he puts a game out, like they're not gonna be as super objective about it. Like, and I feel like if you just look at it on paper, like there's really nothing. And I'm not saying there's anything bad about it. But there's nothing specifically exceptional about that game. Like, and I've heard a lot of people that aren't part of the like game journalist crowd say this, so I feel like I'm not just speaking out of my ass, but I've heard a lot of like the day it came out, all these journalists are like, you gotta go buy this game. You have to have this game. You've got to buy this game. And it just kind of like rang odd to me. Like it's just kind of like I don't see it being an exceptional game, but I see all of these journalists that say it's exceptional, like just good friends with what's his name? Vlambeer guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about because I follow him on Twitter. I can't remember his name, but yeah,
I don't have anything against the guy. Like I'm not talking shit about him. Like it just seems like really small indie devs develop really close relationships with journalists.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely that.
I think people are kidding themselves if they think that's not going to affect their objectivity.
Like whenever Mike Bithel's new game comes out, it's going to get rave reviews. Like this is 100% guaranteed. Like there's no way he's going to produce a game that at least the indie journal types and game journalist types are going to be like, this game is kind of shitty. Like I don't see that being. I think he could try to make it bad. So and I think people would be like, this game is pretty cool. That said, I've seen a lot of people who really. Like, even if you look at because usually when that happens, when the journalists are, like, really on good terms with the developer, and they give it rave reviews, and the game's only mediocre, if you go to something like Metacritic or the Steam page, and look at user reviews, a lot of them will be, like, downvotes, or, this game was okay, like 5s and 6s and 7s.
But user reviews are so unpredictable. It's
they
like
are,
the mob mentality. I mean, it could be something stupid, like they changed the way this one character looks and the fanboys went nuts and just like I'm not saying it's the end all be all. I'm saying I'm just saying it's just noise.
I think that I wouldn't say it's just noise because like Gone Home got a lot of downvotes on Steam, and for the price point I actually kind of agreed that it wasn't worth the price. Not that it was a bad game, but asking $20 for a drawer snooper simulator was kind of a bit much.
I think that's a bit reductive.
It was reductive on purpose.
But there's a lot of
I wanted to make
there was a lot of professional voice acting. It wasn't just like we made this game in 10 days. It's like there's a lot of cost to that game, and it wasn't just like two guys made it.
But the thing is, I don't care. as a consumer, I don't care.
I know I'm not justifying the price point to you. I'm just like somewhere in the middle where I can say like I could see how they felt like they had to charge $20. I didn't spend $20 on it. But I don't like go out of my time to like downvote something. It's like this is too expensive.
Well, yeah, I didn't bother either.
I
voted on some games, but I think it was mostly thumbs up, and to pimp my own YouTube channel, because I have no morals. But I think you can see more of a disconnect there, though, right? Between the people who are friends with developers who are just going batshit for it, and normal people. And there's no like mediocre review.
But
which
I also
really
think
hate.
there's a lot of people in game journalism that they're really interested in games going forward as an artistic and socially mature medium. And so anytime there is content or art that makes games look more mature, they'll prop it up.
What did Dear Esther's like? What was the overall reviews on like major sites for that? I would think that would be ones they would go gaga over.
Yeah,
because it's different.
It's funny because there's a lot of different flavors of game journalism out there. Like, there's just mainstream basic stuff like IGN, GameSpot. And I feel like there are Unwinnable did its Kickstarter campaign today, and like they are like pop culture criticism. Like they want to be the AV club of video games, and so there's places that'll just like talk about shooters, like they'll just have their areas of specialization. But there's a lot of journalists who either want, and I want this too, so don't get me wrong, want games to be more of a mature medium that aren't just shooters and like bros and like the same thing over and over again. And they also are really good friends with indie devs. And so I think there's a slant from some of those specific journalists on games that are more socially conscious about issues or that their friends made.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of like you see the kind of disconnect between the mainstream reception and whatever wins the Academy Award in movies.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something that is about, if it's something set in another country or in a different time, or it's in black and white, it's something very artistic.
Yeah.
That is just how people lean. And, when you're dedicating your life to an art or a medium, I feel like you are really hypersensitive to the examples of things that just kind of recycle stuff. So it's like when people on the Academy vote for an artistic film, they see all of the problems with just, the mainstream success of like a very popular, popcorn film. They're just like, this is dumb. Like that
Michael Bay does the piano too.
Don't get me started on Ninja Turtles, man.
Oh God. Let's pretend it's not happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luftrausers. Obviously, a lot of people like it.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's a bad. I would like. I haven't played it, so this is totally out of my ass. But it just looks like a 5 to me. Like,
I think for
the
next podcast homework, there is a Flash version. That's how it started.
Okay,
it's called just Luftrauser without the S. It's still free. You can still play it. Pretty much the same game without the customization. You can't. Well, that's a pretty big part of it. So that's not really fair to say it's pretty much the game, but. But you can get understand the controls and how they work and how the basic gameplay is, and you could give like an opinion on that, or you can play it through my Steam library.
Okay, yeah, we need to set that up so I can play South Park also.
Oh yeah, you need to do that. But so that was Luftrausers. Tower of Guns. I played that as well. I'll just talk briefly about it. I don't like RPG or roguelikes. I really don't like roguelikes. I'm so sick of goddamn roguelikes. This is like a FPS with roguelike elements in that you always start fresh and then you go through and blow shit up, and then when you die, you're dead. So I hate that portion of it. However, the actual combat feels really good. It's old school FPS, fast paced action. You don't regen health, and it's fun. Like you pick a gun and you pick like a perk, and you can unlock more and more guns and perks as you progress. That's one of the things that you do keep. So it was a lot of fun. I definitely suggest anybody who likes old school FPS try it out, especially if you have a tolerance for roguelikes. It's supposed to be, the developer described it as like a lunch hour game. Not like that. Not like lunch hour games. That'd be a great name for a company.
Memories.
I know, right? But it was more like you can play this, and if you're good, you could beat it in an hour. If you're good, but it is quite difficult to beat, he said, and I wasn't able to beat it. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But like I said, the only negative I would give it is the roguelike crap. Like, if I could have some kind of life system, and maybe I just don't get points after that, I would enjoy it more. But it was that old school feel to it, which I really, really liked. Also, I played a game called Wizard Lizard, which another roguelike. I don't know why. People keep sending me these roguelikes to try, and I hate roguelikes.
I think maybe that's it. Like, are people trying to convince you like that?
No, it's just random. Like, a lot of these are just random indie devs will email everybody, because I've gotten on at this point. I've put myself on several lists for indie devs to email. So that's just how they get it, and they have no idea. That at least they don't pretend they've watched my channel. I hate that. Get those random emails. Oh, I see your channel.
Your channel is great on the YouTube.com.
Yeah, I've watched your videos. Oh, really? Name a game that I've done. Hold on, let me go back and check. But Wizards Lizards, very similar to Binding of Isaac, in that you go through these procedurally generated dungeons, you pick up items and upgrades like armor and all this. The items aren't as randomized. Like, you always can get leather armor on the first stage, but your weapons that you get can be randomized, and it's an interesting effect in that, like, you can rescue villagers in the dungeons, and when you do that, you can start with more gold, and with the gold, you can buy items that you found blueprints for. So if I found a blueprint for, like, the crossbow, for example, if I die and come back, I can go grab that money and then go buy the crossbow. Or I can buy this perk, right, based on how many people I've saved. So it does have that kind of persistence, but it's still mostly roguelike, which of course makes me not like it. The gameplay itself was fun. It was fun. I think people who've had enough of Binding of Isaac or just want like something different to play should take a look. The interesting mechanic is that you're supposed to die at some point, because when you die, you go to like the spirit realm, and it's a little harder. But there's only certain things you can do in the spirit realm, and you can also find this room that has like a symbol on the ground, and you can come back to life, so you can go progress again. But if you die once you're in the spirit realm, it's game over. So it was all right. I think it was like a $10 or $15 game. And the last one I played, I want to talk about, well, two more, but Dungeon Dashers, just real quick, is supposed to kind of give you that tabletop feel of playing a game. Like, even your little, like, because you have like a wizard and a warrior and whatnot, and when they move, they kind of like bounce, like you're picking up a piece and moving it across the table. And they tried to trim out all the quest giving and all that stuff. It's like, okay, you're in dungeons, go kill monsters and get loot. Like, it's focused on that, and it's actually quite fun, and it's not a roguelike. Huge negative or huge positive number 1 through 10. But yeah, that one's quite fun. Definitely check out Dungeon Dashers. I think it's on Steam. I also have a Let's Try video of most of these that I've been talking about today. And the last game I played was a little game you might have heard about. Came out 2 years ago. I think a few people might have heard of it. It was called
Diablo
3. I played it again after the patch, before the Reaper Souls came out, and I have to say, it's fun again. Like,
what do you mean again?
Well, it was fun when it first came out.
Yeah.
Until we discovered, oh wait, I can just get way better gear in the auction house.
Tempered fun though. Like, the fun was rained on by a lot of problems, and I feel like now it's like wholly fun.
Yeah,
for the first time.
Like, it's addictive fun. Like, I've said this on Twitter. I know at least 3 people. I think you make 4. Who? Well, you were always going to get Reaper Souls, weren't you?
No, I mean, like, I was on the fence about it until I started reading about the patch, and then I was like, I'm getting this.
Well, the other people I know, myself included, were all like, don't care about Reaper Souls at all. Like, did not give a damn. But then the patch came out, and we're like, well, let's play it. We've been hearing some good things, and like, we all bought Reaper Souls. Yeah. So that should give you an indication of how much fun we've had. And The girl I'm dating, I think she's playing it right now. She's put more hours into it than I have. But I played since the patch. It's so much different. I think I replaced all my items on my Witch Doctor within an hour of playing after the patch. Not the expansion, but just the patch.
And that was a maxed out Witch Doctor?
No, he was 45,
okay,
I think. So I replaced everything like within an hour. And you almost always, well, I'd say 90% of the items you get are for your class. You still, I still get Demon Hunter stuff, like crossbows and stuff, but I'm fine with that. Like, it doesn't have to be 100% stuff I get, but it's mostly my stuff, and I feel like I'm upgrading at a pretty decent clip. I mean, yeah, there's times where I don't upgrade for a while, but, RNG is a bitch. What are you going to do? But I've gotten, since I started playing again, I've probably gotten like 10 legendaries. Even granted, that's a lot of hours, but still. And the legendaries tend to again have stats of whatever class you are. Like, I've gotten axes with ints and other things on them. Awesome. So it's pretty cool that they've done this. So I really feel like I also love the difficulty change. Like, being able to change it just whenever is awesome. You can go up to, there's 6 difficulties without torment. There's easy, normal,
I thought there was 5.
Maybe it's 5.
Normal is the lowest.
Easy. It's easy. They just don't want to call it that,
right?
But yeah, it's, let's just say it's 5. It doesn't matter. But it's up to master. Torment is locked. You can't get torment or do torment at all until you have at least one character that's 60.
Yeah.
And then in torment, there's 7 levels of torment.
When I logged in, I had a level 60 character, so I could do torment.
Did you try it?
No, not yet. I'm gonna check it out though.
But that unlocks it for all characters. So I actually made a monk and set it to torment 7 to start with. It took him over a minute to kill a single enemy at level 1.
But one of the zombies?
Yeah. I actually died the first time outside the city. Like, when the zombies start rushing in, the very first set of waves is super easy. I died. Yeah. I get 3 shots. So I had to turn it down from torment 7.
That's crazy.
But
what are you playing on? Because
I'm playing it on now. I'm playing it on Master, I think.
Okay, that's 3, I guess. Or is that?
That's the highest you get before torment.
Oh, okay. Because I started Crusader and I have it on hard, which is just the second one. Mm-hmm. And I was dying quite a bit. It wasn't against it was just against the elite mobs, I don't know what you call them, but I
can't remember.
The
the yellows or the blues. Okay,
it was the blues. So I encountered a cluster of blues and just they killed me a lot. But Crusader is hard to solo. I don't think I just I have a lot of defense and just I've geared up and I haven't had any problems since I geared.
Yeah,
but killing stuff just takes a long time. I'll be fine, but I'll be whacking at stuff. It's all right,
yeah. So, I think it'll help once you get the rogue companion.
Okay, yeah.
Since he's DPS spec,
that's true.
Or if you told a monk, this person that's playing a monk that you were playing.
Oh, okay.
That he told you that you should message him when you log in.
Oh, well, because I've been able to play a grand total of half an hour.
Yeah, well,
still learning, but I'm a level 5.
Okay. Yeah, my monk is only 8, I think. So,
okay.
But yeah, that buying out. Well, also what's really cool is that your Paragon levels carry over.
Cool.
So if you have 20 Paragon levels, you make a level 1, you can put your Paragon points wherever you want in that level 1. That's a really cool idea, I think, as well. Cool.
I don't think I got any Paragon levels because I got to 60 before Paragon levels were a thing.
You probably didn't.
And then just didn't play it again.
Yeah.
But it's cool because I didn't realize they upped the level cap too. So they've got level 70 for everybody. So new abilities for all the different classes.
Yeah, you get your first... Well, you only get one new ability. You get one new ability and... One new ability, 2 new passives, and a 4th passive slot at 70.
Oh, cool.
So, or was it? Yeah, 4th passive slot. I actually hit 70 already.
Nice. With your Witch Doctor? Or?
Yeah, I did a marathon session. And it's a lot of fun. The new content's fun. Like the areas are pretty big too. Like I'm one of those Diablo players who will like scour every inch of the map before I move on to the next section. So there's
you play Diablo correctly?
Yes, correct. Yes, that's okay. I figured some people don't understand that.
Right.
But that's the correct way to play Diablo. I haven't beaten the game yet. There's at least 3 major bosses.
Okay, yeah, because Act 5. So Act 5 I've heard is like 3.5 hours. Is that right?
I've definitely played it way longer than that.
Oh, okay.
If you go through just the main quest, then probably
on my friends list is like, I just finished Act 5, and it was like the night it came out.
He probably skipped all the. He's not playing it right. In other words,
okay, yeah,
he's playing it incorrectly.
Okay, I'll be sure to let him know that.
Yeah, because there's all kinds of side challenges you can do as well that are pretty fun, like kill all the monsters within this time frame, or most of them are just kill these monsters to unlock this extra chest or whatever. Some of them are really difficult. There's one encounter in particular, which frankly was pretty bullshit. But it's got a lot of stuff there. I feel like I don't know how much time I've spent on my witch doctors in just Reaper of Souls, and I'm not to the end yet. I'm close to the end, but I'm not there yet. I think I'm probably not. I'm 90% way there.
How long was Act 4? Because I guess
I don't honestly have.
The acts are going to be completely like lopsided in time, right? Because
I honestly don't know. I can't remember.
Well, I started out just like level 1 Crusader, just to experience the new class,
right?
And so I'm going to try to just play through all 5 acts with him. Although I don't know if I can stand much tanking for that long. Yeah, I really like to be a glass cannon. Like that's
Crusader.
No, like I'm just saying that's how I typically play.
Oh.
I obviously cannot.
Everybody's glass in Torment 7. If that helps you really good.
I'll just be a glass pistol then.
We tried Torment 7, like me and 2 other people, and it was not pretty at all.
Yeah,
it was like it's not too bad until you get to blues and yellows.
So how does Torment 7 compare to like Inferno?
Because I didn't do Inferno at all ever.
Okay. Because I remember like watching the first guy beat Diablo on Inferno, and the first group of people, and it was pretty intense. It was like a week after it came out or something.
Oh wow,
it's crazy.
I would think by now people have like ideal builds and all that, so I wouldn't think it'd be that hard to beat Torment 7. I mean, I could be wrong because we only played for a little bit and we weren't.
Do you know if anybody's done it yet?
I don't know. I'm sure. I feel like somebody surely has.
Yeah.
Like people like Athene and the other guy whose name I cannot remember. Starts with a K, I think. Anyway, I bet they've probably done it.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get there. I started solo playing Act 5 because my friends are assholes and played it before me and just were like, "Hey, we're going through Act 5." I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'm soloing then, shitheads." So I started on Torment 2, and because I was all right geared up, and I definitely died a lot, but I eventually ended up turning it down to Torment 1 because one boss in particular, it was like a major boss. So it was one of those, if you die, like you have to start the whole thing over again.
Oh wow!
And he had a lot of hit points. So like I would do 7, 8, 9, 10-minute fight and die, and it'd start all over. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I've had enough of that. So I've been playing on Torment 1, and it's still been a challenge. Like the thing that's weird is it feels like, I don't know if the Witch Doctor is just incredibly weak or what, but I even near the end of my run to 70, I started focusing a lot more. Like I was already trying to get gear that was balanced with vitality and with resists. But now I've got 2 passive slots filled with things to make me more survivable. I've got a survivability spell that I have, my one that I have. I guess Haunt could be considered a survivability spell as well. But I still, like, if certain spells hit me, even with like 70% resists, can take me down 3 cores of my life. But the thing is, it's very inconsistent. Like there's some things that hit you and it's like, whatever. But the other things hit you, and it's like, oh god, I'm almost dead from that one hit. So it's some of the abilities are just seem grossly unbalanced.
Yeah.
So I don't quite understand. And then there's just the times that you just get fucked because you're like in a small corridor. And it's like, okay, now you're fighting an arcane waller, illusionist,
chain, frozen, like teleporting,
teleporting waller, illusionist, arcane.
Because with every difficulty level, they stack a random modifier on the elite mobs, and so I remember like I was going through Inferno. I did Inferno like. I got to Act 3 on Inferno, I think, and I was just like, forget this crap. Like, I just got so frustrated with it.
And that's going to be your entire Torment experience. Yeah,
it sounds like it. I will not do Torment 7. I might do Torment 1 or 2, but...
I think if you're in a group, Torment 2 should be... Okay. It seems also, it feels like the higher Torments were geared around groups.
How does because I was looking through my old inventory, how does the Staff of Herding work now?
I don't know. I saw mine and I was like, oh yeah, I forget how it used to work.
Well, it used to be you got it only like, you had to get it for each difficulty level.
Oh. I don't know. Well, since there's not modes now, I would think it would just work.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
I don't know.
But I was like, oh, I forgot.
The crafting and stuff is cool now too. And I don't remember if this was in the game before, but you find recipes once you had 60, and then now I guess now that I'm 70, I'll probably find them again. Mm-hmm. But you'll find recipes, and some of the nicer ones required, I think it's called Death Head potions or something. And those drop off like the tougher bosses, like the tough yellows, I guess. I don't know if it's random or what. But yeah, you can upgrade the vendors using those, and you can also do certain things. For example, there's the Mystic, who she will replace a stat on an item with another random stat, and it takes one of those. And you can even see, though, what it might be replaced with. It's like, oh, you want to replace this resist fire? Well, these are the things that it might be replaced with. So that's a pretty cool addition. There's also Transmogrify is in the game now, so you can make an item look like a different item. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Like I really like that. But
there's a new vendor too.
The Mystic, yeah.
The Mystic, okay, yeah.
But yeah, if you've played Diablo and you were disappointed, absolutely play it again. Like, it is, like, I even have a hell of a lot of times. Yeah, like
I feel very satisfied with it.
Everybody I've talked to that did not like Diablo 3, like, love it now. Like I said, the girl I'm dating, like, she was one of the biggest ones bad-mouthing it. And now that we've been, like, she's played the hell out of it now, like, literally. All
right, thanks for coming by this week, guys.
Tip your waiters, folks. But yeah, it's like she's been playing the bejesus out of it, and my other friend has been too. So, and I've been playing it more, but I need to, actually do some stuff for the channel.
I'd be playing it now if I wasn't here talking to you guys.
So that means you're going to go home and play it.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, you're not. If you do, message me, though.
I will.
Okay. But, so yeah, Diablo 3, awesome. Yep. It's awesome again.
Get it.
I just want to say Diablo is awesome again.
It's awesome again for the first time.
Well, I'm just saying Diablo is awesome again.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, Blizzard, I'm really, you have to give props to Blizzard on this, because they really did listen and said, you know what? This is the shit that you hate. It's gone. Like,
it's kind of crazy to see such a 180 of, like, people said, we hate this thing, and they're just like, all right, we'll get rid of that thing, and they just totally listened. Like,
and it was a pretty big redesign. Like, this wasn't huge. Like, oh well, we changed the drop rate from 0.5 to 0.7. This was a big change, and I have to think that they had to fight to get things like the auction houses getting rid of.
Yeah,
I bet they had to fight for that.
Yep.
So I'm really glad. Like I'm like I say, you got to give props to Blizzard, because they really did listen and they fixed all. Pretty much the only issue I have left is that you have to be online to play. That's it. That's my only issue with it. And even that's pretty minor, frankly.
Yeah.
I still wish they had an offline mode that you could play with a character that you couldn't play online. But I consider that relatively minor. It's still annoying, but I definitely play I mean, if you already have it, then you can just play it and try it for yourself and see the new stuff. But I can't say enough positive things about my experience since the patch.
Awesome. So get it.
Yes.
The only other game we talked about Street Fighter. The only other game I wanted to talk about that I played a bit of was Yoshi's New Island on the 3DS.
Is that like, what is that?
So did you ever play Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo?
Apparently, I'm like the one person in the world who has not.
I loved that game back in the day. So it was kind of weird because everybody calls it Yoshi's Island, but it was Super Mario World 2 : Yoshi's Island, and it was kind of at that time like Donkey Kong Country, where it used pre-rendered graphics. Like they rendered these 3D graphics and just cut them as sprites. So it's got kind of a unique visual style. Like Yoshi looks a little more, has depth, you know?
Yeah.
And the idea is that it's a platformer where you're Yoshi, but Baby Mario, you have to keep track of Baby Mario. So if you get hit, yes.
I've seen speedruns and stuff, so yeah.
Yep. And so at the end, you pretty much just want Baby Mario to die.
Right.
But anyway,
which makes you a bad person, by the way, if you think that.
Right. Well, it's just Mario.
Yeah.
Who cares about Mario?
It's Baby.
And so I loved that game back in the day. It was a lot of fun. And I mean, I had tempered expectations because I heard this game was just okay. But it really is such a bland, like, shadow of the original. It's disappointing, even though my expectations were a little lowered.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm about halfway through it, and I'll probably finish it, but like everything just feels kind of blah. Like it's just kind of like it is technically a platformer. It's like some student said, like, I like platformers, I'm gonna make a platformer, and nothing about the design is that interesting. Like, and it's funny because I feel like Nintendo. It's like I've heard the same thing about New Super Mario Brothers 2. I think it was, but it was just kind of like, and I think it's because they're outsourcing these to different people. Like this company Arzest, which is a bunch of ex-Sega employees, made this, and I hate to say it, but it's like you can tell. Like, yeah, it's just kind of it's weird because they do have these different modes where Yoshi kind of morphs into different like vehicles. Like he can be a helicopter or a dozer drill. Or that was in Yoshi's Island. There were like little morphs or whatever. But they were, and a friend of mine, Joey, he played this through and he had the exact same thought on it. They were originally in the level where it's like you become a helicopter and you have to go through this level and do this thing. But now every single one of the transformations is like an optional like get coins area. So you go in and get coins, you turn into this helicopter or whatever, or this drill, and you get coins, and there's no consequence to it. Like, oh, I didn't get enough coins, or I died or whatever. It's just like, nope, you're just back to that area. And I mean, I can see if you got really obsessed with, I want to get all of the red coins, and I want to get all of the, they have like these flower coins, which there's 5 in each level. Yeah. And they're pretty well hidden. Like some of them are hidden well. So if that grabs you, I can see how that game would be like, you can't put it down. But there's something really just rote about it, uninspired. Just like the employees that put together were like, we're on assembly line, like, we got the orders, make a Yoshi's Island game. Okay. Like, and then nobody, I don't know, it's kind of weird to describe a game that has no soul. But anyway, so Yoshi's Island was a little disappointing.
So, but if you had to say, like, if you could pinpoint why you felt it was worse, is it worse than the original, or is it just, like, not different enough? Like, they didn't bring enough new to the table?
It's probably, they didn't bring enough new to the table, and I think that designing a fun platformer is a very nuanced skill. That they just... It's kind of like you could tell they like looked at all those like things and emulated design patterns, but it wasn't like it just didn't grab me as being fun. And I don't know if that's because I'm not in, like, I can't enjoy Yoshi's Island anymore. Like maybe that's the case. Like maybe I'm just done with.
Have you played Yoshi's Island recently?
No, I've been looking for a copy. I want to actually get a copy and play through it again.
I'd be interested what you think of it. Have you beat the new one?
No, I'm about halfway through it.
Okay. I'd be interested if you could get your hands on the old one and replay it. because like, yeah, I kind of hear the same things about like Thief, like people complaining about things and the new Thief, and it's like, oh, the old Thief, blah, blah, blah. Which, I mean, believe me, I'm generally in that camp. Thief is like my second favorite game series of all time. But like, I replayed Thief recently, and there were some shitty parts that I had totally forgot. And people were like, oh, the AI in the new game's a little flaky, and blah, blah. It was much better in the first one. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
They would see a body sometimes and go, oh, no, there's a body. And go back on their patrol and stuff like that. It's like, it was bad. Like
nostalgia goggles.
Exactly. And so that's one of the reasons I want to play the originals. So I'd have like an up-to-date memory of what it was really not like this vision of what it was like 10 years ago when I first played it. So did you play so that was Yoshi's Island?
New Island.
Yoshi's New Island.
Yes. That's the
well. This one didn't sell well,
so they're gonna go.
They're gonna go with Yoshi's Nudist Island next, and hopefully that will be much better.
Yoshi.
Hooray! But yeah.
So I think we're up against the wall on time. We don't have any more time, but just to give you guys some news. Facebook acquired Oculus Rift. Iron Galaxies is working on the new killer. We had all of these planned news items to talk about, but we ended up talking a lot about MMOs and different things. But I feel like that's what we wanted to talk about anyway. So
yeah,
I think it's hard to have both I played this podcast and a news podcast.
Well, unless it's like 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I think you can't do it in less than 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours I think is probably about ideal.
Yeah. So I need to start carving out more time for
That's
this
exactly
podcast.
what I'm saying. Is you leave work 2 hours early, your boss won't know.
No.
It's not like you sit right across them or anything.
Sneak out. It's hard to tell, if I'm gone because we have 5 employees there. So
you should have like a cardboard cutout or like a crash test dummy.
Exactly.
Sitting there, like just occasionally, like kind of like one of those bird zippers. They just kind of like do this with the keys. Oh, Travis is over there working hard.
We watched Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah,
and there's a really good prison escape sequence. It's kind of an homage to old.
You could have like a tunnel
escape
underneath your cube. You're like, oh man, these wires got loose again. Let me go down there.
Just put a Rita Hayworth poster behind
exactly.
it. What? Oh!
No. Man, that's the 5th time this month I fell for that.
Oh man, that's great. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm available next week, so we can do this again quicker than last time.
We had a lot of games to catch up on too.
Yeah, exactly. So next time we could probably talk about news a little bit because I do have that Facebook Oculus Rift thing's crazy.
Yep. There's did you hear Notch? What Notch said about it?
Yeah,
that was great. Basically, Notch, the creator of Minecraft, pulled all his support and said
he's like, Facebook creeps me out.
Yeah, he basically said, he said that he didn't throw in all that money so that they could just like immediately sell out to and rake in billions.
It really sucks for people that kickstarted that because it's just like it's the new unforeseen concept, like possibility of crowdfunding. It's like I didn't even think of that. Like, you could crowdfunding something that just gets sold out to people. Like, I feel like Kickstarter should maybe look at contractually obligating people to like.
I don't see them doing that.
Yeah,
I don't see them doing that. But
it's just a lot of bad will from that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people see it, true or not, that he like got all this money, built a lot of hype around it, and then was like, "Ha, now I can cash out." Now, obviously, he's not just going to disappear. The head people. There usually is contracts that will say you have to stay with the company X amount of time, but I mean that doesn't mean he won't like wait until however long he's contractually obligated to stay with the company and be like, I just got to retire with these millions. See you guys later.
$2 billion.
Into
That's
Facebook,
a lot of money.
Into Facebook too. Like
I know.
Company notorious for taking people's private info and just being like, let's do shit with this.
I don't think is there anybody out there that likes Facebook? Like they're
old people. I don't even check. Like,
It's
I barely
funny.
ever check Facebook.
It used to be people was like, yeah, Microsoft sucks. I hate Microsoft. It's like Facebook's the new Microsoft. Like, I think people hate Facebook more than they hate Microsoft.
I think people are really neutral on Microsoft. I don't think they care enough anymore. I hate Windows 8 for sure.
I feel kind of bad for Microsoft. Like, they make a lot of stuff that sucks. Like, I don't like them, but I don't feel like they're this bad company. Like Facebook
I feel like just grossly inept. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's unoffensive though. Like, it's just kind of like, yeah, they're kind of dumb.
Yeah,
Right.
they just do really dumb things.
Yeah.
Facebook does
Evil things.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's probably the big difference. Like EA does shitty, evil things, like making Dungeon Keeper 2 a shitty ass mobile game, or Dungeon Keeper 3 a shitty mobile game, things like that.
Yeah,
but
they suck.
Yeah, they're out of the running though for worst company this year.
Why are they out of the running?
I think the other companies got voted higher.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I think it's like a round.
EA.
Thing. Yeah. They might not. They definitely won't win worst company of the year this year.
Who's in the
running? I don't know. I just saw it like as a headline. I didn't click on it, but apparently they're out of the running. Not that they really care.
They're probably like, whew.
I don't think they give a shit.
I don't think they care.
They could not care less.
Nope. But yeah, we will be back hopefully next week, and you can find our podcast at supergametalk.com. I'm currently working on rewriting the site, and we're going to shift over to a different host because Podbean kind of sucks. Like, and so I'm working on a way to make it close to free.
It sounds so like scheming and dirty.
I'll give you the details, but basically hosting it on Amazon S3 is basically.
I kind of figured that's
in the free tier of things, but I have to put together a bunch of the XML and stuff for that. But anyway, this is not that kind of podcast.
Yeah, no. It's the other nerd podcast.
But we will still be at supergametalk.com. And you can find me at Capanius, CAPANE_US on Twitter and .us on your browser. And where can the folks find you, Johnny?
Twitter, Malachi VT. It's MALACHAI VT. I also have Vertigo Tea Party on YouTube. So just search for YouTube or Vertigo Tea Party.
All right. So we'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.